Hey people, welcome to the Run Testers. We are at the running event. Behind us here, we've got the Nike stand. Nick, you're about to go in and have a look at what's new from Nike, mainly on the trail front.
Yeah, we're going all in on the trail side of things with Nike here with the ACG All Conditions Gear updates to a couple of big shoes. So the Ultrafly, originally the Ultrafly Trail, the first carbon plate Nike shoe for the trails, the ultra-focused racing shoe. They've got a new version of that, the ACG Ultrafly. Be really interested to see what's going on with that, in fact. And then there's a new Zegama. So I think we've had a couple of standard models of the Zegama, and now I've got the ACG Zegama. Hard word to say. Again, some interesting updates on that. So we're going to run through those two. So yeah, we're focusing on the trail side here with Nike. Jump in and have a look at these two shoes. Okay, we are here at the Nike booth. I'm here with Brendan, who's the director of ACG Footwear. Is that right? And we've got a couple of exciting trail launches coming from Nike in the near future. We'd love you to start to talk the ACG Ultrafly, which is the successor to the Ultrafly Trail, right?
It is, yeah.
So what is the big new changes to the shoe, I guess, from that shoe?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the ACG Ultrafly, we really look to take that kind of lineage of how do we create a super shoe for the trail and really kind of build upon that and make it a little more wild, a little more all conditions, if you will. And so we took that similar toolkit and really evolved it based off of some pretty key athlete feedback. And so testing it within that race environment is really crucial to that process. And over 30,000 miles were cumulatively run within those wear tests. So our most tested shoe to date, been again put through the races and landed on some podiums as well, as we saw Caleb Wilson most notably, I think, winning Western States Endurance Run, as well as actually the Trans Gran Canaria Classic at the turn of the year in prototypes of the ACG Ultrafly. So maybe we can get into some key tech.
That'd be lovely,
speak to a bit of the product in more detail here and what makes this kind of system so I think special. So Vibram Mega Grip with light base, so the same tried and true Mega Grip traction with that reduced web thickness, again for reducing some of that overall weight. Then moving into the midsole, so this is actually a dual density ZoomX.
Oh, okay.
And so this is a newer ZoomX for us, so our most responsive, lightest weight foam, and this is tuned specifically for the trails. So give you kind of a peek into what that system looks like. So again, this is a bit of a slightly softer ZoomX, so that being directly underfoot, giving you that little bit more energy turn and responsiveness, and then sitting within a slightly firmer ZoomX, so offering that added stability and support while still getting an overall incredibly responsive system. And then you pair that with a full-length carbon fiber split plate. And so this is also reduced rigidity of over 30% from the Ultrafly Trail, which works incredibly well, particularly for our lower body weight athletes, and especially on steep climbs or descents. And by being split, again, it offers that little bit more torsional kind of flexibility and support, really allowing you to work with the trail as opposed to the trail kind of working you, as oftentimes you see with an incredibly rigid plate or system. So that's a bit of the under the hood magic that really kind of brings that system to life. And then you also have this 4-foot textile wrap. And so for those of you familiar with the Ultrafly Trail, that had a full textile wrap, and because this ZoomX is a little bit more durable as well, we're able to expose it, and that kind of unlocks the system a bit more. So ZoomX is incredibly compliant, so it compresses and then rebounds, so it has to travel a lot in order to give it that responsiveness, and so being able to unlock a bit more of that system just makes us feel that much more energetic and responsive underfoot. But we wanted to make sure that we were wrapping the forefoot to just add that little bit more containment, so that especially during kind of steep downhill technical sections, you still had kind of that added security without too much foam travel. So it also adds a pretty cool visual, if I say so myself, with kind of chaining the upper and the midsole together. So
like contours as well.
So trails. Moving into the upper, we have this dynamic print that adds a little bit of containment and stability within the upper, as well as, again, the total visual cue to just look kind of distinct and different out there. And then the team really focused on this upper material to make sure that it was lightweight, breathable, as well as incredibly durable, and then focusing on those comfort cues as well. So the idea of this being the right weight versus just solely lightweight, so still maintaining the comfort collar and padding in the tongue so that it could really last the course of a 100-mile race, like a Western States Endurance Run. and our athletes really were saying, this is the right level of comfort. Like, we don't want you to strip anything else out just for the sake of trying to reduce a few grams. This is the right weight for this shoe. So a few of the specs, 37 and 28 and a half. So an 8.5 mil drop. And then this is 287 grams for a US men's 10.
Nice.
And then one other feature that we're excited about too is this also has a ZoomX sock liner. So that's a first for the space. Also, since that's a closed cell foam, doesn't absorb water like some sock liners might, and you just get a bit of that kind of responsiveness like directly underfoot. So again, an overall tuned system for the trails for those athletes who are really choosing wild.
Brilliant. And then could you talk about when it's launching and the price of this?
Yeah, so this will be $250 from a, again, US dollar perspective, global retail suggested price, and it'll be launching in spring 26.
Wicked. Thank you very much. I am still here with Brendan. We are now talking about the Nike Zegama Trail. And now, the Zegama previous boat was called the 2, was it? And this is now the ACG Trail, is that right?
The ACG Zegama, yeah.
Okay.
And so this is really, again, our maximum cushioned and comfort proposition within the line, really built for any distance and any terrain. So we call this kind of our all-day and all-night shoe, knowing that whoever's running some of those ultra races might be wearing this over the course of many, many hours out there, as well as this becomes a great training vehicle as well, really protecting the legs, offering that cushioning and support, but also a great race vehicle, and really offering a distinct choice from the ACG Ultrafly, and kind of that more like rapid responsive feel that you get in Ultrafly. This is again going to be more of that max cushion protective feel.
It's a bit more, I suppose, democratic as well for the people who aren't going to race to win. They're really, they're doing these events almost as an endurance survival event, really, and they get the comfort. So if you could talk through, we've got a Vibram outsole, looks like, and then if you could talk through the tech, that'd be great.
Absolutely. So Vibram Mega Grip on the outsole with a 4.5 mil lug height. So quite toothy, able to again handle that rugged terrain that you might encounter out there. Then moving into the midsole. So this is a dual density, and one of the things that our athletes really asked us on this was, hey, could you unlock a bit of the magic of ZoomX, if you will? And so with this, again, newer ZoomX compound, we're able to expose that much more of it because durability is no longer as much of a concern for us, and so that allows it to, again, travel that much more, is something we're really excited about. So I'll show you how this midsole comes to life as well. So what you have here is your ZoomX, and so you can see just how much ZoomX is underfoot, and then what you have on the bottom, or kind of that carrier, if you will, is a Cushlon 3.0, so firmer, adding additional stability and support, as well as some durability. And because of this system, we've also been able to increase our stack while maintaining, I think, stability. So going to 34, 38. So maintaining a 4 mil drop from where kind of the Zegama Trail has been historically, but adding a little bit more height, so that much more protection underfoot, that much more ZoomX underfoot, so even more kind of propulsive and energetic. But it's still maintaining that stability with the forefoot nets in particular, as well as you'll notice just how deep you're actually sitting within kind of this ZoomX. So the sidewall wraps up pretty high, so that you're adding, again, a lot of lockdown and stability. So that's the midsole coming to life. And then moving into the upper. So tried and true engineered mesh, zonalized, again, structure as well as breathability cues with some protective durability elements on the tip. What you see kind of highlighted in orange here is an internal fit band, so really securing, again, the midfoot and making sure there's good lockdown, there's not too much movement over the course of a run. And then continuing to stand for the gaiter or cuff. This is a new material for us for the gaiter. Has a little bit more stretch and rebound properties, so it's going to maintain its shape really well over time, and again, function to just keep that debris out there on those highly technical terrains. Then making sure there's a really plush collar and tongue, again, for the comfort over the course of a long run, whether it's a training run or a race. And then one element we're incredibly excited about with this update is we're also introducing a new ACG Trail specific last. So we've taken what we know and love from the Nike Trail line of old, and slightly modified that to have a little bit of a wider toe box, as well as a little bit more toe box height. So a little bit more accommodating fit, particularly when your feet are going to change, like swell and change in shape and size over the course of a long run, or even just a hike or something as well. So
sick, nice one. And this is coming out a little bit after the ACG.
This will come out in summer 26.
Okay.
So a little bit later at $170 US global suggested price. The weight on it as well, so this is 336 grams for a US men's 10. Again, maintaining that 4 mil drop. And yeah, we're really excited for athletes to get this on foot and try out the ACG Zegama.
Brilliant. There's a couple of pretty cool looking shoes. Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, thanks.
Cheers.
So there you have it. That has been our look at what is coming from Nike on the trail front.
Yeah.
Some interesting shoes there, Nick.
Big time. There's also that really fancy, weird top, the Radical Airflow top you've seen Kipchoge wear in the marathon. I waved my arm around in that, and that was quite fun. Very, very cooling. But yeah, the shoes are more interesting, I think, probably for most people. Zegama and the Ultrafly coming out next year.
So, as ever, a couple of things you've got to do. Check out all the other videos that are going up on the channel. We've got lots of roundups, lots of new individual kind of shoe look previews for the big things that are coming from 2026 from all the brands. We will be flowing some of this out over the course of the next couple of weeks and stuff. So the other thing you have to do is subscribe, ring the bell, and then you'll know when those other videos land. If you have any questions about these shoes, hit us up in the comments below. We will endeavor to try and bring you reviews of these as and when, if we can get hold of them. Otherwise, thank you very much for stopping by, and until next time, happy running.